going to be a mantra that you want to just put on your board. I don't care. Put a tattoo on your hand, whatever it's going to be as a mobile home investor. You guys get that ingrained in your mind.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the 3 most costly mistakes to avoid in mobile home investing. So go ahead, Dan, take away the first one.
All right, guys. So the first one we're going to talk about is, avoid falling in love with the home versus the deal. Now, you've heard myself and Dan talk about this in previous sessions, and you're hearing it so much because it's that important. Can't stress it enough. I mean, Dan and I, being partners, have bounced ideas off each other constantly because sometimes, even seasoned investors will fall in love with the home versus the deal. So I'm going to give you a case study. We bought a double wide, beautiful double. I think it was in the 2000s. It's a porch model. How big was that home again?
32 by 66, big double wide.
Yeah, I mean, This is a Mac Daddy. I mean, that's the biggest, the widest you can get. You can get them longer, but this thing was sweet. So we brought it up and paid, for the home to come up. I think we paid $12,000 or something like that for the home. It might have been less than that. And we paid like $7,000 to bring it up, and we put it in a park in a resort community up in the Thumb, right by Lake Huron. And we had to put a garage on it, a 1-car garage. Had to renovate it, and I just, was so enamored with, we can make $40,000-$50,000 on this because there's other homes that sold a few years earlier, and before you know it, we had it up for sale. We had a lot of money invested, and that didn't go the way I thought. We ended up barely making a buck if we did, and it tied up our money for over a year. Mm-hmm. And even though we had some mobile homes that we were using as cottages up there, it was that anchor that was always next to us, and we were always just kind of hoping and praying, when is this thing going to sell? So, what we're saying to you guys is stay in your lane. We got out of our lane, okay? Use our experiences and our failures to guide you, because that was where, even seasoned investors got out of our lane, and it cost us.
And in hindsight, I think bringing that home up there might have been okay had we worked something out with the park owner to maybe sell that home to him.
Yeah.
And make a quick flip, a margin of $10,000 or somewhere in that range, and be done with it in 30 to 60 days.
Or we could have just brought it up and just put it there and had it in 2 pieces and had it for sale. So that some residential person who was out there that wanted to buy it could have said, oh my gosh, it's right here.
Yep.
And boom, they could have had it. But we just fell in love with that whole romance of building this really cool mobile home in a resort. So that's number one.
All right, so the next most costly mistake to avoid is the lack of a thorough inspection, whether you're doing the inspection yourself or you're hiring somebody to do the inspection. If you don't do an inspection, you're already playing with fire. And if you do your own inspection and you kind of overlook some things, you kind of ignore some things. Sometimes, you go into a home and it's maybe the person is a hoarder and you can't see everything because there's too much stuff in the way. Mm-hmm. And then when the home's empty, you have a discovery process, and you go, oh my gosh, if I had moved some things around or waited a little bit longer, I would have found this and that. So a lack of a thorough inspection is definitely an issue. We bought a home recently in Indiana. We bought it based on the photos from the seller. The pictures were phenomenal, looked fantastic. It had all kinds of problems, as it turned out. When our buyers started to go look at the home, they started discovering things that we would have discovered in an inspection.
Yep.
They discovered odors. They discovered potentially some mold issues. They discovered that getting the home off the property was going to be very difficult. So had we spent $200 or $300 on an inspection, we would have avoided all that stress, those headaches, and those problems. We may have passed on that home.
Might have.
Had we spent the $200 or $300.
Yep.
So next one.
That's a good point. The next one is overpaying. So once again, you can't say it enough. You make money when you buy, you get paid when you sell. So that is going to be a mantra that you want to just put on your board. I don't care. Put a tattoo on your hand, whatever it's going to be as a mobile home investor. You guys get that ingrained in your mind because really, it happens to the best of us. So I'm going to give an example. I bought a home in a park that I got a great relationship with in Lapeer. Yeah, I think it was like a 16 by 70, 3.2, right in our sweet spot. For $4,500, that's a pretty good deal. The only problem was, as I fell in love with getting this home renovated and I got into carpet. Well, if I paint the place, it'll look a little better. Well, carpet would look really great in here. And before you know it, it just escalated into a $10,000 investment. And we held on to that thing for 230 some days. Not only did it cause issues for our capital getting tied up, what do you think the park was going through? Because that's a relationship that we created, and
Right.
We had flipped homes in that park. I think the longest one we bought and sold was like maybe 60 days. And a park can deal with that, but 230 some days, man, that park manager, when I looked at her, she had a big circle on her board saying, oh my gosh, what's going on with this place? I eventually had to sell it back to the park, made I think $111 on it. I know, big deal. And but that was one that I should have either paid $1,000 for or $2,000 and not done anything and just flipped it right where it's at for maybe $7,000, and we got out of that looking like heroes.
Yeah,
right?
and that's one situation where if the situation would have allowed us to wholesale the home and have it moved,
That's right.
we probably would have sold that home in a day.
We would have.
But we have a relationship with that community, and we kind of limited our buying opportunities.
Well, our exit strategy was tied up.
was
Yeah.
tied up. So.
All right, so that was our 3 most costly mistakes to avoid in buying mobile homes. We hope they were helpful, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching Easy Homes University.
Make sure you like this video and subscribe to see our future episodes.